boy Vic XL. This is Riding Dirty TV. Man, we giving you the people who are definitely moving and shaking this world. And I have the pleasure of having my guy, one of my favorite guys on the grind, Von T, hanging out with me. What's going on, my G?
Man, what's going on, Vic? How you doing today, bro?
Man, I'm doing good as hell. I'm kind of lonely. My wife, you know what? That ain't even none of your goddamn business. That I'm lonely. Yeah, I'm at home alone, and I feel like Macaulay Culkin but grown.
I feel that. Hey, I'm at the house right now. I'm out here sitting at my bar, man. I'm just chilling, man. I'm just sitting here chilling on a little Monday. So
All right, so Von T, let's you know what? I want to take him. I want to take him on a Von T journey, and we're gonna let this thing take as long as it needs to take. I want when the people finish this interview, there is nothing left for them to ask about Von T that we don't discuss now. Everything else will be future after the day.
cool.
Let's start off by you letting the world know, like, where is Von T from?
All right. So originally I was born in California, uh, but my roots and everything that is about me is in Georgia. Everything that I did with music wise, and pretty much everything that made me who I am is in Georgia. But I gotta say I gotta actually give thanks to Arizona, to Alaska, not Arizona, Alaska, because if it wasn't for Alaska, like I wouldn't really be in music the way that I am right now. Like Alaska, even though I've been doing music for years, and I was doing music in college, I was doing music in high school. I've been in music since elementary, like doing everything with music ever since I've been a kid. Alaska and the isolation that it brought really is what brought me to music. Like really, I mean, I'm not even gonna say that. I mean, for folks who are out there in the world who are going through stuff, trust me. Like I've been through it. I've been through a lot of stuff. In Alaska, for the world to know, like I was actually, I was actually in a little depressed state in Alaska, and Alaska is what actually, uh, I guess you would say, birthed the music for me. Like it really birthed me into an artist. Was being isolated in Alaska and really understanding that hey, all these people that have been saying for years that I got musical talent and I'm really diverse in what I do, it really came to fruition in Alaska. So that's where really it came from.
All right, I gotta ask, why Alaska? What the hell were you doing in Alaska?
Okay, so just like most people don't know, which they will know after this interview, is that I was in the military, currently still in. Alaska was where I was stationed at the time in 2012 and 2013. In Alaska, I was actually trying to get to Hawaii. And for all the service members out there, I just want to say, I mean, I appreciate y'all and I appreciate everything that they're doing. I know what the country is going through right now. Trust me, your boy Von T stands with you. I stand with the Black Lives Movement. Trust me, if you check out my single Undefeated, you will understand what I'm talking about. That just dropped on Safaree's mixtape. Alaska is where it started at because I was deployed over like um here in the United States they call it a CONUS deployment in Alaska. That's where I was at when the music actually started for me was in Alaska. So actually the military is the one that actually landed me in Alaska when I actually came to realize that I had a bigger purpose in life than just serving in the military.
All right. Um, and I know there are a lot of servicemen who mess with music. What made you get into it in the military? Like you weren't dabbling with the music like before you went to the military? And actually, you know what? Let's rewind. What made you choose the military as your initial career path?
It's funny because how I originally got into the military, which most people probably won't believe, but I actually joined the military when America went into combat. I was sitting in college. I was sitting in high school in English class, English 101. I don't know what they call it in high school, but that's what I was sitting in when I actually witnessed the World Trade Centers being attacked by terrorists overseas. That's when I actually decided that I wanted to be in the military. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give 4 years of my life to the military because I have benefited from being in the United States and being an American citizen. I'm gonna give at least 4 years of my life to the military to at least show my gratitude of what is going on in the country right now. When we got attacked by the Iraqis in Iraq, by in the World Trade Centers, that actually like prompted me to like, okay, I'm gonna give 4 years of my life to the military before I start anything else in life. So actually, I was in the 11th grade in high school before when I actually decided I was gonna join the military when I get out of high school. Like, and that's what I did. I joined the military right out of high school.
All right, did you have any ROTC training in your high school, or?
I did not. Actually, I was opposed to ROTC in high school. I didn't do any of that stuff in high school. I actually joined enlisted. I joined as most people know, as an E2. That's a private second class. I joined as an E2, and I worked my way up 16 years in the military to become a military officer, so when I am today, 16 years in the military.
All right, now, your initial thought process was, I'm gonna give them 4 years of my life, and it turned into a career. What made the direction shift?
Okay, so like when I was in high school, you know, I used to beatbox at the lunch table. I used to beatbox in class. I was labeled a class clown. I did all of that, but I was always into entertainment, even as a kid. My parents realized that. My friends realized that. They knew that I had a talent. They knew that I had skills in music. But what really happened was when I was in high school, what really prompted me to turn this into a career. Military and working for the United States always been a B dream. Okay, I always label everything that I do in A, B, C. A is reaching for the clouds, B is where you can make it, and C is to get by. My A dream has always been to be in entertainment. My B dream was like, okay, if I don't make it in entertainment, then at least I know that I've made it enough that I can serve America and I can be a productive citizen. I can do what I need to do to make a living. I can provide for my family. That was the military. C dream, you know, that's just like getting a regular job. That's like working 9 to 5. You know, pretty much doing what I got to do to get by. But what I did was with the military, I never gave up A dream. You never give up your A dream. My A dream was always to be in the clouds. The clouds is an entertainer. The clouds is a music artist or influencer, whatever you want to call it. That was my A dream. I was always striving for my A dream. But the B dream is easier to reach. So when I became a soldier in the military, that was my B dream in America for what I thought was the American dream. When I was like, okay, that's something I can reach. I can reach that right now because I know I have the blueprint for that. I know if I go to school, I know if I stay consistent, I know if I stay doing military training and I do all of that, then I know I can make it to B dream. A dream is going to be a stretch. Entertainment, being a music artist, I know that's a stretch. That's a hard goal to reach. And only a few of us have actually made it there. But that was always my A dream. I never gave it up. But my B dream was being a service member, being a government official, being somebody who can actually affect the way that we operate here in America. So that was my B dream, and I know I can reach that because I made a blueprint on how to get there. But I never gave up on my A dream. So that's how I ended up making 4 years turn into a career, because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this for a minute, but I'm never gonna give up on my A dream. So on the side, I always did stuff to still progress me towards reaching the clouds.
Okay, now I want to come back to the military and your stance and what you're going through with the military at the present time. I want to come back to that. Let's focus on, all right, you're enlisted in the military. You're doing your 1-2 thing on a daily basis. And thank you for your service. I know that we have privileges in this country that if it wasn't for people like you, that we wouldn't have. So definitely thank you for that. At what point did you say, you know what? Okay, I'm settled into the military. Now let's start a recording career.
Okay. That actually started in 2017. That actually started like I go back to my time when I was stationed in Alaska. Now, for everybody who's not familiar with how being stationed or living in Alaska works, it's very isolated. It's very cold. You have a very limited time of sunlight, and you have a long time of darkness. You have a very long time that the sun never comes out, and you have like a month and a half, maybe, of daylight, 24 hours of daylight. And I'm talking about like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, there's daylight. But most of the time that you spend there is dark. Most of the time that you spend there is straight up darkness. Now, me being in my 20s when I was in Alaska, I was there as an officer. I was in Alaska as an officer. I was there with no family. I was there with no kids. I was there with no pets. So it gave me a lot of time to really uh, marinate and think about what I wanted to do with the world. And I had a realization when I was in Alaska. I was like, this is not the route that I wanted to take. Okay, I wanted to give 4 years, and I turned this into a career. But my real love in life, my version of the American dream, is to be an entertainer. And really, when I was super depressed in Alaska, that's why I was depressed, because I realized I don't want to be a government official forever. I want to chase my A dream. So that in Alaska, that is what brought me to realization, to realize, hey, you fell off a little bit. You're chasing your B dream. You need to get back to your A dream.
Okay. All right. So 2017, like we're in 2020 now. So you're really just 3 years deep into pursuing the career.
Right, right.
How are you so damn good in 3 years?
I would say that I really progressed as fast as I have in 3 years, because before I ever entered into the realm, before I ever released The Plug, which most of my fans know, that's my first single. They know that's my first single. And I can honestly say, like, even in 2017, I still released The Plug, distributing CDs. I was selling merchandise, trying to sell merchandise and trying to give CDs, trying to get my song out there. Even in 2017, when I actually released my first single, before that, when I was in Alaska, I had already been doing tons of research on how to open my own label, my own parent label, which is Symbiotic Music. You know what I'm saying? For most folks that they know, for myself, to how can I get on the platform that all these other major artists are on. I looked at biographies by Rick Ross. I looked at biographies by Chris Brown. I looked at what to do and what not to do. How to register your music with BMI. How to get paid for how to get paid for your streams on YouTube. I looked at how to get your music on SoundCloud, and how do you get paid for that? How do you get paid for your music when you distribute a video? So I did all of that research. I spent like a year, one of my years in Alaska, just understanding the business of being an artist before I ever released my first single. And I would say that was from pretty much 2015 to mid 2016, before I put together my first single. I just tried to understand, because I know there's a lot of artists who get out there, they got raw talent, but they don't understand the business aspect of music. They don't understand that this is a legitimate business, and you have to understand how to get your music monetized. You have to understand how to get paid for the work you do. You got to understand how to register your music. You got to understand what radio stations give you BDS spins. You got to understand all of that. And some of these artists don't understand that. I spent a year just trying to understand it before I ever released my first single.
So actually, you done it the correct way, because I'm a firm believer that a lot of artists, they're so asinine to the business aspect. It's easy for them to get tricked. It's easy for people to pillage on their dreams, and they end up with nothing. So you educated yourself. Why did you choose the name that you chose for your label?
So I chose Symbiotic Music because I'm not gonna lie to the people. When I was in Alaska, I was depressed. Like I said before, I ran into an area which most service members do. I have psychological issues. I'm not all straight in the head. I already know that. I know I'm crazy. I already know that. I know that I got struggles that I deal with from being a service member, seeing combat, seeing my friends die. Um, what I came up with, why symbiotic music was my label, was because at the point of my lowest, when I hit rock bottom in Alaska, I I realized that there was something inside of me that kept me going. I realized that it's not me, but it's something. And I'm not a super religious person, so I was like, what is it? I had a voice talking to me in my head. I feel like that was my symbiote. That was my other side. That was my alter ego. That was the beast mode that I feel like that was inside of me that said, hey, you can offer more to this world than what you were given now. Don't let Alaska be the end of you. Don't let the military be the end of you. And I equated that to some kind of thing that's inside of me that vibes that lives off of what I do, what I produce, what I am. And it's only sole purpose for being alive is the fact that I'm alive. So in essence, I have two sides to me. I have me, and then I have my symbiote. And so I was like, okay, I think that everybody who is listening to this should understand that survive. I'm going to be your strength. Even when you're weak, I'm going to push you through the next level. I'm going to get you there. Even if you don't want to get there, I'm going to get you there, kicking and screaming. And that's why I said symbiotic music, because I feel like inside of me, there is another force that gives me the power to keep fighting for what I do.
Okay, no doubt, no doubt. All right, in your 16 plus years of the military, what do you feel like the greatest thing or the greatest value you've learned?
I feel like the greatest thing that I learned by being in the military is how to put together a plan. So for what most people don't know about me is that throughout the 16 years of my military, I actually held three positions. I was an 88 Mike, which for civilians, that's a truck driver. I was 74 Alpha, which for most people don't know, that's chemical. And then I was a 35 Delta, which most people don't know, that's Intel. Throughout my military career, I continuously progressed, and with that, I feel like I embodied the spirit of being able to fight for what I believe in, and being able to choreograph a plan, to being able to see a vision past what is in 5 meters ahead of me. So with me being enlisted, going to an officer, captain in the military, I feel like I was able. The military enabled me to be able to develop my brain enough to develop a plan that I can see past where I'm at currently.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about some of the records. So you mentioned the plug a little bit. You got dripping with cash. Like, man, you talk about some of the records since 2017 you've released up until this point.
So everybody who knows me, my fan base, and everybody who follows me, like they know that all the music that I have made, they know that everything that I rap about, and anybody can fact check me. It doesn't matter. Anything that I rap about is what I live. I come from a culture of nothing. I come from the true bare culture of our people. I come from a culture of nothing. So when we talk about the plug, when we talk about brands, when we talk about dripping with cash, like I talk about things that I've actually lived. I never make a song about something that I didn't do. When we talk about the plug, even this plug that I'm wearing on my neck right now, like I talk about being the plug for the people. So if most people don't know, like they look at my bio and they look at me, like the plug ain't talking about drugs. The plug is talking about anything that you plug yourself into that makes you an asset to your community. Whether it is that you provide knowledge, whether it is that you provide uh, name brand clothes that most people spend thousands of dollars on that I can get to you for cheap, or whatever it is that you are a plug into your community. I am the plug. And I don't want to get that mistaken because my music Is album. That's the name of it. That's dropping sometime this year before the year is over with. Like I want to let people know it generates back to the plug. Like even though I was in the military, I never forgot my people. I never forgot my culture. I never forgot where it came from. And so like all the music that I make, the plug, brands, dripping with cash, extra, all of that stuff that I talk about is stuff that I actually live.
Man, I'm just looking at information on you. You got to turn off the lights, extra up, which you just mentioned, dripping with cash, which is still one of my all-time favorites. Um, man, like, and not only this is what I really respect about you. You and probably this came from that year of you educating yourself, but I can tell that you definitely invest in yourself, whether your videos being on World Star, whether you reaching out to independent platforms, you invest it, even if it's not money, you invest the time and energy to build relationships to progress your career. Like, is that a trait you picked up in your childhood? Is that a trait you picked up being in the military? Like, where does that trait come from? Because this is one thing I know from dealing with Von T. Even if music, even if the day comes where you say, you know what, I want to back away from the mic, I still see you being a successful label head, a successful CEO, because you, at this level, know how to nourish relationships and invest in yourself. Where did that come from?
I feel like that came from something that was always deep internal inside of me. I don't want to discredit the military because even though I'm going through what I'm going through with the military, I have to let everybody know I love the military. I love what it has provided me to be able to do. I love the classes. I love the experience. I love the deployment. I love the soldiers. Shout out to the soldiers. I love the soldiers. I appreciate everybody, whether they be white, black, Mexican, no matter what race they are serving in our military. I love the military to this day. It doesn't matter what I'm going through. But I do feel like I do feel like part of that drive, part of that inspiration, part of that tenacity that I have does come from being in the military. And for most people who haven't served in the military, being in the military, especially being an officer on a political level, is very competitive. Like you can get lost in not being yourself, just trying to make rank in the military, especially when you make it to the level that I'm on. I've always stayed true to myself. I've always stayed true to what I believe in, and I feel like I just took what the military trained me. I took what I was born with, and I combined the two. And I said, hey, you know what? If you gonna get into music like people have been telling you you should do since high school, you probably need to educate yourself a little bit on what you need to do before you actually jump into it. I looked at what happened with Meg Thee Stallion, with her career. I know she's a college grad. I know that she did all her things, and I know that she did that, but she still ended up getting effed over. And I know that there's a lot of other major artists out there that just never looked at the business aspect of it. And I feel like all of the training and all of the experience that I've had of being an officer and planning and being able to provide our country with the protections that they have nowadays, it enabled me to be able to put forth a plan in my head and on paper and with my label to understand where I want to go with this. Hey, this is what I want to do. A, B, Z. A, B, all the way to Z. So
All right. Leading up to this point, out of all the music you've done, what has been your favorite song and why?
I would say up to this point, my favorite song has been Skeletons. And I say that because of this. Like, I'm an artist. I'm recognized. I'm verified on YouTube. I am a verified artist. I'm notified out. I'm pretty much on every platform. I am on every platform that you can think of. When I actually got inside of synthwave and 80s retro music, I was discouraged when I looked up myself on Google, when I looked up myself on Spotify, and I saw that they had me listed as an American rapper. No, I don't want to let people know that I am an American rapper. Spotify and Wikipedia got me listed as an American rapper, but I am an artist. I love all music, and that's why I was so disheartened. I was so angry at the military when they tried to give me, you know what I'm saying? They tried to give me, what you call it? They tried to punish me over rap music. Like I catered myself, and a lot of people can look at my catalog on the music that I put out. I am a student of music. I am not a rapper. I just want to let everybody know that straight up. I am not a rapper. I am an artist. Whatever kind of track that there is out there, I will get on it. And so my track Skeletons, I really wanted to redefine myself as far as Spotify and Wikipedia and everything like that has me labeled as an American rapper. I'm an artist, and I want to be labeled as an artist because even when I was in college, I was an I was a DJ. I was DJing for parties. I was mixing music, and I was adding all kind of stuff in. So I was kind of baffled. You know what I'm saying? When the military came after me for turn off the lights, because I love all music. Don't get me wrong. Hip hop is always going to be my base. I love hip hop, but I just want to let everybody know, and even the military, that I am an artist born right here in America, and I love all the music that we put out.
All right. I gotta say, I'm a little distracted, Vontae. Your setup is nice, and I keep expecting either a naked woman or a woman in a bathing suit to walk by you and bring you a goddamn glass of wine. I'm sorry. I just keep expecting a woman to come through naked or scantily clad and say, "Here's a bottle of wine, Daddy." I don't know. Like, God damn it, Vontae. God damn. All right. So look, and I want to come back to skeletons. I want to come back to skeletons because we just reviewed skeletons, and that took me from what I fell in love with from Vontae. But I get it. But my first instinct was like, God damn it, it's not dripping with gas. But I get it. And you know what? And the way you explain it makes all the sense in the world. And more people should aspire to be out of the box. Because they're trying to stuff Vontae in the goddamn box. And you like, hell no, I'm coming out the box.
Right.
Like, that's like, so I get it. But you mentioned the military, and me and you had an opportunity to talk on an episode of the Big Homie Show about what you're going through with the military, and you spoke on turn off the lights. So let's dive the fuck in on this situation with you and the military. Has it been resolved? Or are you working on resolving it? And basically where you stand at this point.
Okay. So for the military and with my single turn off the lights, with my single hit World Star, like I mean, you just talked. I've been doing music since 2017. I didn't even drop Turn Off the Lights. Turn Off the Lights came out January 1st of 2018. I've been doing music a whole year before that. I dropped Brands and I dropped The Plug before Turn Off the Lights came out. That was my third single that I ever released in my life. It dropped January 1st, 2018. When my single Turn Off the Lights hit World Star and it got over 1 million views, all of my music, which anybody can go back and check, I never mentioned anything about the military. I never mentioned anything about this country. I never list any of my political views or anything in my music. I wanted my music to stand by itself. So all the music that I released in my life, I never mentioned the military, even to this point. Outside of Undefeated, even with my single Undefeated that I dropped, I still never actually pinpointed the military. My single Turn Off the Lights, it was just a feel good song. It was just a song about being in the club. It was just about a song about just, hanging out with your boys, just doing what you want to do. So when my single hit Turn Off the Lights, it was one day, Vic, I promise you, I was sitting here in my house and I got a message on Facebook from one of the majors who outranked me in the military about my single. He was like, "Hey, Vaughn, I seen your single Turn Off the Lights. That shit's hot." As soon as he told me that, I knew in my heart, I knew that everybody else above him had already seen it. I was already preparing myself for the feedback from it. And so what happened was the military not, I wouldn't even say the military. My current unit that I'm currently in right now is the one that put my single "Turn Off the Lights" on display for the world. I wasn't planning on using the military to gain publicity in my music. I wasn't trying to use the military to gain awareness of Von T. I was gonna let the people be able to decide whether they like me for me based off of my music. But because I faced backlash from the military, from my unit, for dropping "Turn Off the Lights," it infuriated me. And so what I did was I ended up reaching out to people, because when my single "Turn Off the Lights" reached, I can honestly say that's when the height of my career started. That's when I actually started to gain a lot of publicity. Juicy J had hit me up on Twitter. He tried to get on the remix of "Turn Off the Lights," even though his amount that he was charging was an obscene amount that I can't afford because I was an independent artist. He reached out to me. I talked to other various artists. I talked to Mike Epps, who's the entertainer. Most people know him from Friday. I talked to a lot of people who was like, hey, that "Turn Off the Lights" track is pretty hot. You need to do something with it. The military, the unit that I'm in, decided that is unpatriotic and un-American for me to make a track which they consider being unbecoming of an officer living in the United States.
So before making the record, and I don't think someone who's pretty much made a career out of the military would do anything to risk their rank or anything you've established up at that point. Was there anything documented or put in front of you that stated that maybe you were violating anything?
So the funny thing is that in 2018, when my single "Turn Up the Lights" came out, I was counseled in the military. They pulled me in the office. They said, hey, we saw your video on World Star. We saw your video out on YouTube. You might want to clean up your music. You might want to reconsider what you put out. You might want to use your musical talents for other purposes. I took that as, okay, you guys want me to not make my culture's music. It didn't say take your music off the internet. So I didn't try to take my music off the internet. I left it up there because what you're pretty much saying is, okay, we don't like you being involved in rap music and being involved in hip hop and promoting that kind of stuff. But then when we go back, when I thought about it after that counseling that I go back. What is really, what are we really talking about here? Because if I was making country music and I had a cowboy hat on with some cowboy boots on Facebook Live and I was getting millions of streams for making some music on the internet, would that really be a problem in the United States? I would say no, because I went back and looked. There is no policy on what kind of music that you like and what kind of music you listen to in the military. And then I'll be taking a step further. I'm a single guy. I ain't got no kids. I'm not married. I'm not breaking any laws. Even if I was just to appear in a music video, I'm not doing anything that nobody else hasn't done in America. And I'll also say this, Vic. If anybody goes on TV right now and they look at any commercials that's on TV right now, any commercials, I challenge anybody who's watching this, you can look at any of the music that's playing right now, any of the commercials that come on, everybody is promoting our music to promote their brand, our culture, what I mean. Any commercial, and I guarantee you when you get off this with me, you'll watch TV, you'll see a commercial that come on. And they'll be like, damn, Von T was right. They use our music to promote their business. But when we try to do it outside of y'all making money, it's a problem. So I'm trying to figure out, which I had the media press them, what law did I actually break? What did I break? I don't know. They still haven't given me an answer to this day.
All right, now, have they given you any type of pressure about, are they more concerned with you stopping to do music, or do they want you out of the military?
All right, so here's the thing. This unit, I've been through a lot of stuff with this current unit that I'm in. They have a track record of being discriminative towards minorities and African Americans in particular. I was already on my way out the door. I was already on my way processing out of the military. I wanted to give the military 20 years before I got out and pursued my music career. But as we know, as you chase your A dream, sometimes time doesn't wait. My career is moving a lot faster than I had predicted that it would. And so I was trying to go ahead and process myself out of the military. But what they did to put salt on the wound, they tried to expedite punishment on me because of my rap music. It wasn't enough that I was getting out. They said, "Oh no, hold on, he's getting out. We're gonna punish him because he dropped hip hop music and he is appearing in music videos that is unpatriotic or un-American or unbecoming of a military officer." So that's the only reason why I made a big fuss about what I'm doing now with my music, and that's why I have put the military on Front Street as far as, hey, the people need to know what y'all are doing because y'all want to try to keep this under wraps. I think America, the Black community, our culture, anybody who listens to our music, all these little videos that's on TikTok making videos of our music and all this stuff, I think they have a right to know what y'all are doing. Since President Donald Trump came out and he didn't officially denounce white supremacy, I think it is apparent now that we live in a country where we have a broken system. And I think that the people need a chance to weigh in on what's going on my situation. I don't think that it needs to be under wraps with the military because I think that the military is trying to put themselves above what's going on in the country right now by saying, hey, we got all races, all cultures in our military. We serve the American people. But hold on, because there's a lot of people in the military who have second jobs. There's a lot of military members who have aspirations outside of being a service member who don't pursue it because of fear of the backlash that I'm getting right now.
All right, so while we're talking, I just done a little Google search, and it's definitely the military can't care. It might be you or your unit because Nate Dogg was in the military. He was like, bitches ain't shit but a hoes and tricks. No Malice from the group Eclipse was once enlisted in the military. Mystical, Shake It Bad, Watch Yourself, military.
Yep.
Freddie Gibbs, military. Donis was once a double XL freshman, military.
Yep.
Cannabis, military. Ice-T, military. MC Hammer, military. Man, there have been so many people in the history of hip hop who were at one point in time enlisted. Now, I'm sure those names I named weren't enlisted as they pursued their hip hop career, but there's still public records that they were in the military. And, I, I, I don't know. When I listen to your story, I hope that it's your unit as opposed to the big spectrum. But it seems a little controlling.
Right. And so even with my single, like Turn Off the Lights, that's not even the epicenter of what's been going on here. They've attacked other songs that I've done, like A Star. They've attacked Extra Up. They've come after other singles that I've done to try to solidify I guess what they consider our music is hood music that is promoting drugs, violence, and all of this stuff like that. I can tell you this: my single "Turn Off the Lights," what they said was, "Oh, you were holding a gun in your music video," but I was never holding the gun in my music video, Turn Off the Lights. Somebody else was holding the gun, the prop gun, in my music video, And it was only for like a split second. Second of all, the military promotes violence all the time. Whenever I got prepped for war, when I got prepped to go overseas, they had us sit down and visually watch all these rock videos of all of this violent music showing us of Iraqis and terrorists getting blown up. Rock music was playing in the background of those videos. That's how they tried to psych you out, get you ready to go to get deployed. Um, there was never no mention about that. There was never no mention about those songs being played and them promoting violence on those videos. So you make a big sting about a pop gun in my music video that was only on for like 30 seconds. It, it all it equates back to being racist. That's what it equates back to. This equates back to racism and the systemic racism that we face here in America. I have been overseas. I served 16 years in our military. I have lost people that I cared dearly about overseas. I bled for this country. I sweat for this country. I should be able to chase my version of the American dream in this country without fear of backlash from a government that is bent on systematic racism towards our people.
All right, agreed. Um, in closing, where do you guys stand now? Are you going to be getting out soon? Like, where do you in the military stand October 5th, 2020?
Nick, I got to be honest with you. I'm giving them hell. I am processing out of the military. As you can, I say processing out of the military. As most people can see, I have a full beard right now, and I am at home smoking my hookah. I don't have a job in the military right now. They don't mess with me. I stay at home and I've been processing out of the military. But I have an interview with KRXM Radio on Wednesday, and that's going to be aired on cable news in Houston, Texas, where I plan on telling the world about my story, telling them about what's going on. We're actually preparing official release press uh, package that we're going to give to the media because out here in Augusta, Georgia, where I live at, Fox 54 News and Augusta Chronicle and all these other major news industries out here, Channel 6, I've given them my story, but this is a military town. They are not willing to put their credibility on the line to promote what is going on with my situation right now. So I have decided to reach outside because I have those resources now. I'm a big enough artist that the military, at least my unit, knows that my voice is big enough that, hey, we probably need to lay off this guy because he is not silencing. He's going to keep speaking up. I have a YouTube video out there that talks about my situation. I have various interviews, including yours, that talk about my situation. I'm not afraid to show the people and stand up for what I believe in. And so what the military has done, it's really strategic. What they've done is they've backed off me. Well, this unit has backed off me because what I fear, what I hope is not the case, but what I think is the case is that they don't want this story to come to light because they know the backlash that is going to happen with everything that we're going through with the country right now if this story reaches national news. And so they have actually not messed with me. They let me go ahead and try to process through my medical retirement, try to go ahead and let me get out. But I am not going to be silent because I feel like even though I'm processing out of the military medically, and I'll be okay, I'll still continue to make music. I'm going to still continue to do what I got to do. They know in their heart that if this story reaches national news, this is going to be a huge story. Not just because what I'm going through, because it ain't even about my music at this point. It's about us as Americans and our ancestors and the country that was built off the backs of our ancestors, of being able to live in this country and think that you have a chance at chasing your dream just to be shot down when you actually try to get there. So where we're at currently right now with the military, I'm currently still gonna reach out to news crews. I'm currently still reaching out to radio stations and anybody who's gonna take my story and who's gonna listen to me because I will not stop until this story reaches national news. I don't care if it drains my bank account to 0%.
All right, my last question on that. Do you ever fear for your life when it comes to the story and the situation?
I do. I've told my family before. All my family, they stand by me. They stand by the movement. They know what I'm going through. They know what the country's going through. I do because I know what kind of power the government has. I do know. Uh, I do know what they're capable of. Like I said, like my last job as an officer is being military intelligence. I know what we're capable of attaining. I know what we're capable of doing. But at the same time, I'm not because I stay a couple steps ahead of them. And I'm gonna tell you why I stay a couple steps ahead of them is because they're not as smart. They're not as smart, and they don't put enough effort into trying to figure out what is going on, and they know they're wrong. That's the problem. That's where it really boils down to. That's the reason why I've been able to make such a big fuss the way that I am. Because if I was defaming the military in some kind of way, or if I was doing something to bring discredit upon America or my position in the military, they would have called me in the office a long time ago and said, "Hey, you need to cease and desist on all the stuff that you're doing because it's wrong. We support everything you're doing, whatnot." But they haven't done that. They haven't done that because they know they're wrong, and I guess in essence, I kind of fear, but then I don't. So that's why I made that single "Undefeated" that dropped on Safaree's mixtape. Uh, it's already out now. To kind of let the military know, to let the army know, to let this unit know that even though you guys have tried everything that you have tried, I still stand before you undefeated. We, as Black people and minorities, we stand before you undefeated, and we're gonna come throughout. We're gonna come out this on top. So,
All right. Let's talk a little bit about where you're at musically today. All right. You just mentioned the mixtape, Undefeated being on the Safaree mixtape. How did that come about, and where are you at with your career in 2020?
so Safari is my boy. Like me and him talk on Instagram all the time. He was really feeling my track "Undefeated." He wanted it to be on his mixtape, and I was kind of shocked that he wanted it on his mixtape. So I submitted it to be on his mixtape. If they go check right now on SoundCloud or Spotify or any of those other platforms that are out there, it's on my link tree on Instagram. It's the most played song on his mixtape right now. Which what I'm saying, that last time I checked, it was like sitting over 3K views. What I'm saying, on his mixtape. What I'm saying, and that's not to brag or to put down any of the other artists on there, but it hits on real stuff that we're going through right now in this country. It's a real situation that we're going through right now. He was really feeling it. I may collab with him in the future. I'm not quite sure where I want to go as far as that goes, but I think he's a great guy. I think he's a great artist. He's a great friend. Me and him talk constantly. I think he's cool. As far as my music career goes, like my Skeletons track, like I'm with New Retro Wave, and that is a track, that's a label that pretty much just relives the '80s music. So I just, like I said, that was my little outlet to show people that I do more than just rap. But I'm actually signed to a label called Slapbox Music and managed by Music Headquarters now. And we got some pretty good stuff coming up for 2021. I'm signed to a 10-track album. My engineer is out in Atlanta. Shout out, to my engineer out in Atlanta. He's on board with me, and we're gonna bring some good music in 2021. We're not gonna let this stop us because as I process out of the military, it's only gonna get better from here. So
All right. Once you process out the military, do you see yourself relocating out of Georgia, or will you still call Georgia home?
I'll probably still call Georgia home. Like I said, I live in this big ass house here. You know what I'm saying? I'm by myself right now. It's a 5-bedroom house, 2-story. You know what I'm saying? I'm living straight. I'm good. What I'm saying? I make my money still, and I do what I gotta do. But I don't know if I want to rent this place out or I want to move to Atlanta. I haven't really decided yet. It's still really early in the process because coronavirus has the world throwing off axis. But I for right now, as it stands, I still plan on staying right here in Augusta, Georgia. But I don't know exactly what I want to do because honestly, with the growth of the bass and everything that's going on with my music, it's really just a wild card. I'm really just living life, and wherever my cards lay, that's where they lay. So I'm really just enjoying the moment, really.
All right. Before we ride out, because there are going to be some ladies that watch this video and want to know why in the hell this man lives in this big ass house alone. Um, what's the dating life like, man? What's the lady situation like? Like, what do you like? Or you hard to get along? I mean, what's going on, man?
I was in a relationship when I first moved here in 2016. I got out of that relationship, and you know what I'm saying. Like I said, I opened my label in 2017. When I broke up with my old lady in 2016, you know what I'm saying, things weren't just working out. We weren't seeing eye to eye. She wasn't really feeling the music movement as far as all of the attention that I was starting to get. Um, and then when I released my track in 2017, I just kind of split ties with her. Currently, right now, you know what I'm saying, that gave me the time to really focus on my music. So I really just spend a lot of time in the studio. I spend a lot of time writing music, and I just spend a lot of time just in here, just, you know what I'm saying, just developing the plan, because I know I got a lot of stuff on the plate, on the table. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I live here, and you know what I'm saying, I never moved out. I was able to pay my mortgage, so I just stayed here right now. I don't know if I'm gonna relocate, but right now, the lady situation since coronavirus is kind of slim.
Yeah, don't nobody want no corona ping. Like, you gotta be, if you didn't lock them in before corona, you might want to be careful. Two things I'm gonna let you go, Vontae. Number one, earlier during this conversation, you mentioned being depressed, and it seems like now, especially in 2020, a lot more African Americans are talking about dealing with personal issues, depression, anxiety. It's now taking the forefront to where years ago there was some shit. You goddamn black, you black, deal with it. What was it like for you dealing with depression? And have you encountered a lot of people in the military or outside of the military who look like you, who deal with these issues? And what are some of the things that actually helped you get from that dark place?
So like I know there's people that's going through what I'm going through right now, as far as, like, you know, saying all that stuff. And as I process out of the military, I'm currently being evaluated by, like, all of the medical professionals that they have on the military right now. I wouldn't say that that's 100% behind me, because currently, I'm still under duress. I'm still going through what I'm going through right now. Until I'm actually free, I feel like my situation is probably not going to get any better. But I do feel like all the people, like, there are people who are going through what I'm going through, but what I do to put me through my situation, I go upstairs and I write. I always go upstairs and I write my music. And even though, like, I know I have, like, a dedicated fan base, I know that I have people who consistently listen to my music and download it and do all of this stuff. Like, what I make is how I express how I feel, and that's how I deal with the dark times that we are going through right now. Even as a country, or even me personally, like, that is my outlet for being able to express how I feel, and I'm just grateful that people actually listen to it and they actually like it, because I'm never going to change from who I am. I'm true to who I am. So I'm glad that people actually enjoy and listen to the music that I make.
All right. Actually, I said two questions. Actually, it was three. The next one is, I am not going to let you get off this line without talking about that goddamn helmet.
Yeah, so, you know what I'm saying?
Hold on, Von T. Let me tell you can tell you my guy, and I'm comfortable because I'm cussing like hell.
So yeah, so you know what I'm saying? My helmet, it's really just, I would say that my helmet is really just a symbol of of me. I would say that my helmet is a symbol of anybody who's going through stuff. The helmet trans transforms me into Von T. See, people know me as Channing Von Taylor, but when I put my helmet on, I'm Von T, because that's the beast mode, you know what I'm saying, that brings out the musical entrepreneurship that is me. This is what keeps me grounded in what I believe in, what I'm fighting for really matters. So when I put this helmet on, my helmet, it feels like I've transitioned into my beast side. It feels like this is my beast mode might be different from somebody else's beast mode. They might relate their other side, because everybody got two sides. Some people got more than two sides, but everybody got a side that you kick in. It's called fight or flight. Everybody got two sides. I feel like when I put my helmet on, I was just able to uh, physically put my second side into my hands, and so I know that when I put this helmet on, I know that I'm gonna be okay, because I know that my buddy, my symbiote, my other side, my beast mode, he's got my back. He's not gonna let me fail. So that's why I have this thing. It's always gonna be with me. You know, I don't care what other kind of scrutiny that I come under. Like my beast mode is always gonna be with me. It's my other side. It's what I put my strength from.
All right. Have you ever had sex with the helmet on?
I would say, girls, they just gonna have to hit me up and see about that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say yes or no. You just have to hit me up on my line and see, you know what I'm saying, what happens when you meet up with me or whatever.
What if she want to wear a helmet and both y'all sitting there butt naked with goddamn helmets on?
Hey, then I feel like that's gonna be a crazy night, because that's her other side and that's my other side. So there's gonna be some crazy shit going on that night.
All right, now, if I was to make a covert mission to Augusta and steal the helmet, will I be able to do my thing like Von T, dipping in cash? Will I get the superpower?
I would say you might, you know what I'm saying, but it'd be hard to get it, because I keep the thing locked up in the safe. So it'd be kind of hard to get it, you know what I'm saying? And I got like security and cameras all over the crib and whatnot, and I got a whole bunch of weapons in this bitch. So it's gonna be hard to get up in this mother.
The goddamn helmet probably would drone out my vehicle and fly back to your ass, and I just been wasted $100 in gas going to Augusta. All right, my last question, Von T. And before I ask the last question, bro, I want to tell you, brother, like in talking to you, it feels so genuine. Like it's like talking to my little brother. Brother, I love you. I love everything you're doing. I just got to get that out, because I feel like as African American men, we don't show admiration for each other enough. And brother, when I see your name anytime, that shit make me smile, because I just know that you're a good dude, man. So I want to definitely say that. But my last question is: we are in the electoral time, and you are in the military. And I've often wondered, because it's the military, you guys are supposed to have the same mission, the same accord, but it's too many different walks of life, sexes, cultures for everyone to agree. During electoral time, especially when we're finna elect the POTUS, how much disarray, if any, do the military be in when they're disagreeing about candidates?
Oh, it is lit right now, and I can honestly tell you, I've served with a lot of great people in the military and all across the board: white, black, Mexican, Puerto Rican, you know what I'm saying, Asian, Indian. It doesn't matter. All of us who are service members, like everything that we believed in and what we thought we were fighting for is being challenged right now. And I say that because, you know, service members who are out there in the world right now who are serving, we're conflicted. We're conflicted because we have a sitting president right now who, in all intents and purposes, doesn't support some of the members that are on our armed forces. And it's conflicting when we're given orders, you know what I'm saying, to abide by that we don't necessarily agree with, but are too wrapped up into what we're doing and providing for our family that we will not speak out on it. But I have talked to various service members who are aware of the situation that I'm going through, who have voiced their opinion to me, but have told me they will not speak out in the media about this situation because they have a family to look after, and I do not fault them. I don't fault them. I'm just cut from a different cloth. I'm in a different league. I'm in a different situation. I feel like I'm following my destiny right now. So I understand what they're going through, but all across the board, and it's not just African Americans. It's white people. It's black people. It's everybody. Um, they have given feedback on the situation that they're going through right now. This is a very serious, troubling time for our military right now, and I can say that from firsthand because we want to get back to where we were, but at the same time, we want to get somewhere better. But we know and we've realized that where we're at right now, we've actually taken a step backwards, and we're just trying to get back to normalcy. So people who actually really believe in America and believe in that dream and what we stand for, those soldiers that I've talked to and those soldiers who are out there, like I know what they're going through. I've talked to plenty of them from E2s all the way up to lieutenant colonels and majors, lieutenant colonels, and some even full bird, which is full bird colonels. Um, they understand what I'm going through. They understand what the country is going through, and they are trying. Trust me, they are trying to do what we need to do to try to get this country back on the right track where we were back when the last administration was in office.
Okay. All right, Vontae, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time, sir. Continued success to you. And anytime you ever need anything this way, I'm just an inbox away, bro.
Hey, I got you, Vic. I even got the plaque on the wall, man. Cause
Oh,
you know what I'm saying.
that made me feel good. I was like, oh shit.
I got the plaque on the wall, man. It's at my bar at my house, man. And one of my, one of my many accomplishments that I have in being able to be on your show and having my song be voted in by the people was definitely one of my biggest so far in my career where I've gone right now. One of my biggest accomplishments, and I humble myself for that. So.
All right, sir. Salute to you. I know that's kind of a pun being in the military. Salute to you, sir. And hey, man, next time we talk, you need to have some naked women walk by. I'm an older guy, dog, and I'm married, but it would be cool. And I'm like,
okay, I can do that. I think I can coordinate that. I can work that.
Right,
My label right now is in Atlanta. They meeting with Jeezy for a birthday party that's going on in Atlanta, and I might head out that way tonight. So you know what I'm saying. Next time we talk, you know what I'm saying. I might actually oblige by that.
Monty, I have a dog here. He's very unique, and he just wanted to say hello. This is Yao. He likes dripping with cash too. Okay.
Oh, look at the dog.
He ain't got no hair. He just got a mohawk. But this is Yao, Vontae. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Vontae. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for coming on Riding Dirty TV. And we'll wrap soon. All right.
I appreciate it, Vic.
All right.